Hello, Blizzard fans! This is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a Legacy of the Void beta balance update preview for August the 20th, which was yesterday. Alright, let's get right on into it. It says, hello everyone, we have a significant balance update today for Legacy of the Void. Many of you already know what's coming from interacting with us and providing feedback via our weekly community feedback updates. But for those who want a breakdown of all the changes and why we're making them, you can find all the details below. None of these changes are final. We're eager to hear your thoughts before and after you play with these changes. Alright, what do we have here? Macro mechanic changes. Spawn larva is reduced to 2 per injection and set to auto cast by default. Whoa! Mule is removed. Chrono Boost is removed. Okay, so these are mechanics that have been around since Wings of Liberty 5 years ago. They were introduced in StarCraft 2. They've been in every professional tournament I am aware of in StarCraft, and now they're gone. I'm not sure if they're gone forever. Again, keep in mind that Blizzard did say these are not final to the retail version of Legacy of the Void, but alright, so Spawn Larva is reduced to 2 per injection. What does that mean? 2 per injection. I'm not sure what that actually means. If you know, let me know in the comments. I'll see if it explains it later on. But autocast by default, I have some complaints about this on the Reddit, where people say a queen spawns, it immediately injects on the hatchery, and you can't use it to spawn creatures anymore because all the energy is gone. So that's actually something Blizzard might need to change. It's set to autocast not by default, but you need to turn it on. I think, again, they're just trying to get rid of these macro mechanics as fast or as thoroughly as they can. So interesting. If you did play the Heart of the Swarm campaign, you'll notice that there was no inject mechanic whatsoever. So your hatcheries just produce larvae as fast as they would if you're injecting on time every time, which was nice. I kind of got used to it when I was playing the campaign. When I went back to laddering, it was kind of something to get reused to, but this is weird. And the Mule's gone, Chrono Boost is gone, so you can't Chrono Boost out upgrades. You don't have to Chrono Boost out workers. You can't throw down Mules. This is going to be crazy. This is actually, I think, going to hurt Terran players probably the most. I'd have to say, just because if you actually kill a whole ton of Terran workers, they can't just Mule back up, get their economy back and going and catch up again. This is actually going to cause them some trouble. Chrono Boost as well is going to hurt a lot of builds like Warp Gate, timing pushes, things like that, +1 timing pushes. Protoss is going to have to deal with how things are different here quite a bit. So, keep an eye on that. It says, as we've been discussing over the past few weeks, we'd like to try these changes out on a larger scale. We are aware that these changes may present the need for balance tuning in other areas. It would be great if everyone can keep this in mind while testing. For example, this type of feedback. Removing Chrono Boost was bad because Blink now takes unreasonably long. Isn't very useful because changing research and build time is easy if we determine that the Chrono Boost change is good. Due to the Chrono Boost removal, we're also adding the following buffs to help Protoss in the early game. Here we go. Warp Gate research reduced to 140 from 160. Okay. Disruptor build time reduced to 50 from 60, added 1 additional supply to Nexus. Alright. Okay, so that's useful. Alright, moving on to Cyclone. Whoa, anti-air attack reinstated, but damage is reduced. Damage against ground units is reduced. Removed current upgrades and replaced with one that greatly increases lock-on damage against both air and ground units. Whoa, wait. Okay, so Cyclones are good. I think we saw that in a Railgun versus Beastie game that a lot of people have watched on my channel. If you saw that, you saw Beastie go mass Cyclone against a Zerg player and pretty much wreck face. So the main goal for the Cyclone is to have them counter air units early on, but not to the point you can't go air against Terran like we saw early on in the beta. In late game scenarios, due to their reasonable speed, range, and damage against all unit types, it has not been uncommon to see armies almost exclusively consisting of Cyclones. There we go. We also wanted to hit this a bit hard so that in the late game, Cyclones can be good, but not to the point that they're the only unit needed. Okay, so they're trying to get rid of mass Cyclone play, which is probably good. We'll see how this affects things. All right, next up, Zealot Charge Upgrade. Speed bonus to reset to Heart of the Swarm levels. Charge deals 30 damage on hit. We want to have a clear difference between Zealots and Adepts. We believe Adepts are more effective than Zealots in large extended engagements. Yes, therefore, we wanted to look for a change that would make Zealots clearly better in harassment situations. However, because Zealot burst damage will be effective in direct engagements as well, we'll be monitoring exactly when Zealots outperform Adepts and vice versa. So, all right, so you charge at someone, you hit them for 30 damage, and then continue to slash them with your side blades if you're a zealot with charge, so that's good. And speed bonus reset to the Heart of the Swarm levels. I'm not sure if that's faster or slower. I have to assume it's faster. Zealots were faster in Heart of the Swarm than they are in Legacy of the Void, so now they're back to being faster, and they hit harder with charge, so maybe making Zealots a little bit more viable. That's a good change. Warp Gate, warping in at pylons takes 16 seconds. Pylon power is buffed when touching a Nexus or a Warp Gate. Warping in takes 2 seconds in this case. Warping in takes 2 seconds from Warp Prisms. Due to the results we've had internally, we'd like to test this rather large change and see if it's good for the game. We initially believe that the buff to defensive situations is good because Protoss is currently struggling to keep up with expansions as the game enters the mid to late game. Also, while 16 seconds on offense may be too big of a nerf, we'd really love to try out this more extreme number just to be able to quickly test the side effects of this change. Yeah, I mean, that's... Alright, so 16 seconds to warp in away from a Nexus or a Warp Gate. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're away from the base as Protoss, you don't want to warp in reinforcements for an attack, 16 seconds is a long time, but warping in 2 seconds on defense is really nice. We'll see how that goes. Rapid deployment medevac upgrade removed, new upgrade added, high capacity fuel tanks increase the speed boost duration of ignite afterburners by 50%. The current upgrade for medevacs is too big of an upgrade in the in-combat cases. We want to try out a buff that mostly affects the harassment and retreat cases. We'll see how this new upgrade goes before we make a call on what to do in this area going forward. Alright, so I guess a lot of people were actually getting the rapid deployment medevac upgrade. I don't think I saw anybody do that on my channel, to be honest. Or if they did, I missed it. So, It's gone now, though, so goodbye upgrade. And Ignite Afterburners last longer, so that might be good. I have seen, I don't know, I've seen medevacs get chased down by Mutalisks and chased down by Phoenix, and it's kind of sad for the Terran player, but I'm not sure if that was entirely necessary. Alright, next up, Disruptor Redesign. Okay, straight up. Disruptors now shoot out a ball of energy that can be manually controlled. This energy ball blows up after a few seconds, dealing high damage. Disruptor invulnerability removed. Energy balls are invulnerable. If the disruptor is killed, the energy ball fizzles, dealing no damage. That kind of reminds me of a Reaver from Brood War. As we mentioned briefly at Gamescom, we've completely redesigned, that's a typo, completely redesigned the disruptor into a unit that fires explosive weapons into the enemy lines. This new version has been working out very well for us. It has the core awesome part of the disruptor in the beta, its ability to have micro on both sides in engagements where disruptors are used, and now has a change that opens up more counter opportunities. Alright, so it basically shoots a ball of energy that you have to click on and move around, and then it blows up after a few seconds, dealing high damage. So yeah, it's like the Reaver shooting Scarabs back in Brood War. The Reaver was a very slow unit that shot a Scarab out. You had to make the Scarabs. They cost money. I think they cost 20 or 25 minerals. But they couldn't be controlled. The Reaver would shoot at what you told it to shoot at. It would shoot in that direction, and when it exploded, it did splash damage. So I'm not sure if this is splash or not. That's going to be interesting to see. Disruptor is no longer invulnerable anymore. Energy balls are invulnerable, just like Scarabs were in Brood War. And if the disruptor is killed, the energy ball fizzles, dealing no damage. That makes sense. All right. So if you have some replays with the newly redesigned disruptor, please send them to me at FalconPaladin@gmail.com. I'd love to see how they're used, how they're dealt with. If somebody uses them against you, send me that replay as well. So, all right, moving on. For the last thing here, enemy spawn location display increased from 10 seconds to 25 seconds. We heard your feedback about the potential enemy spawn location display being too short right now. So we've tried to strike a balance where it doesn't stay up too long, but players have enough time to check when they aren't busy at the start of games. We'd like to try out 25 seconds for now and see how that feels. So it is nice to show the places on the map where the enemy could possibly spawn, especially for new maps. I mean, I guess if the map pool's been around for a while, it's not that big of a deal, but especially when it's new and you're not quite sure where you have to scout to find the enemy, it's very difficult. So I'm glad they did that. All right. So that was our balance update. There's a lot of comments here. People are happy about this. People are happy here. I don't know. We'll read the comments later, but that has been the balance update preview for August 20th. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Blizzard upload. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you take care of yourself.